Hey, welcome to Founders Unchained. My name is Darius, and I'm a business developer turned entrepreneur. I have built my own projects and worked with many venture capital firms in the past, and all kind of investors helping startups to get capital for growth. And over the years, I have met many interesting people and learned a lot of strategies and tools. And now I want to share that with you here on this YouTube channel together with our guest, Evald. So let's get into it. And first of all, I would like to thank Evald for coming here and joining this today. This is the first episode with real live founder who is CEO and founder of a Estonian-based company which makes business in crypto and fintech field. And this company named Swapin. So Evald, good to see you. Let's get into details. Can you introduce yourself briefly, who you are and what your business does?
My name is Evald-Hannes and I am from Swapin. Swapin is a non-custodial crypto on-off-ramp company, and our main activity during the last years is crypto processing, and we are focusing for both for B2B and for B2C.
First of all, I think for the startups who's going to watch this episode, for them it's really interesting to hear how the story started. And are you still the founder and business owner? Because I know that majority of the startups who actually raise capital throughout many years, we're actually diluting their ownership in the business. So I'm curious just to understand: are you still the business owner, and if you founded the company yourself?
Yes, I was one of the founders when we started, and this company is founded in 2018 already. It's like, how to say, company with history, and I'm still a shareholder and also holding the CEO position.
Just taking the percentages of your ownership in the company, how normally startups end up by getting capital? If you got 100% of shares, and when you started to raise capital, what's left for you as a owner at the end of the day?
Maybe let's take even some steps back. So if you are just maybe taking it like in very simple level, then it seems that you have always like in the beginning 100%, and then it will start to dilute. But actually, in startups, there's 2 or 3 founders, and also it's very common that you will keep some shares for future options. If you are also planning to start with investment rounds, then also you need some shares. So definitely when we started with this business, then there wasn't the model maybe like you described, that it started from 100 and now it's almost 0. So actually it's not so, but in overall I think it's a normal process, because startup without investors, it's not startup, then it's some other business form, and it's quite normal that your shares will be diluted, let's say 40-50% during the first 3-4 years, and something similar is going on with Swapin, and I think it's quite normal, and we can name it, it's like industry standard.
Okay, thank you, Evald. I'm curious to know how old you were when you have started your first initial business.
I was then 18, and I was just graduating high school, and it was like a summer vacation. And then we started import used cars from Germany to Estonia, and it was very, like, how to say, exciting times. And when I went to university, and then I was, I think, like almost 19, then we visited Germany almost like every month once, and brought some used cars.
Okay, so basically Swapin is not your first initial business, as I understand. So that's interesting to hear.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes,
when you
it was a long way from used cars to Swapin.
okay, and well, how old you was when you have started this Swapin venture?
With Swapin, actually, when I mentioned before that we established the company in 2018, actually we
Okay.
had 2 years before it, we had pilot project, and we produced the backend software for one very innovative mobile wallet. It was a similar project like nowadays we know Apple Pay or Google Pay, but in Estonia the similar project was founded already in 2016. And this was like our first pilot project. And these days it was like very hard to start with business as we know it on nowadays, because on one hand it was like very early for crypto and for crypto related payments, but on the other hand there wasn't any legislation, laws, and even if we tried to map it to or wrap it to some frames, it was very hard. And also, we didn't actually know how to start with this, but it was very good that in 2018, laws started to change in Estonia. Estonia was one of the first countries in European Union who started with this, and it helped us to summarize or say put this idea to some legal frames and start with a real business, and then we established the company. And if I'm taking that I am at the moment 43, then it's very easy to calculate. When I started with this, then I was something 30 plus years old.
So I remember, Evald, actually, if you remember also, I think we met first time 6 years ago. And at that moment, I was working in fintech field. You came up with this idea, this project, and you was explaining about the crypto. At that moment, I had no idea what you are talking about, just because, crypto was something new to me. Your business was related to crypto. So I think you was like early innovators in the field, I believe, not just only Estonia, but overall Baltic region.
And I remember it also very well that it wasn't only with you, with many companies. If we introduced our plan or business plan and how the business should be and what kind of problems we are solving, then it doesn't matter, was it some payment provider or investor. Even nowadays you have now industry words and etc. But on these days it was very hard to even explain what you are going to do or what you are doing. And why I remember Darius very well, because actually we were struggling with finding banking providers, and this was for us daily issue. And basically we mapped all European providers, like banking as a service, or some companies already then started to offer so-called virtual islands or some infrastructure. And if you told that you are a crypto company from Estonia, from Eastern Europe, then yes, in many cases, after first email or after first call, there wasn't any success. And I'm very happy that now things are moving, and we are not even naming or positioning us as a crypto company. We are like a crypto processing company, and I see that we are moving more and more for stablecoin business, for cross-border payments. Many companies are integrating us to different payment infrastructures, and this is what we are doing and where we are putting more effort.
Perfect. Okay, so let's move on. So Evald, can you tell us the story of how you came up to this idea? And do you remember the first initial day? What the first step you took?
Everything started around 2015-16. We visited many exhibitions with my friends, and there was first crypto boom. And what we faced, that on the market there was a lot of companies who was offering exchange services or how to buy bitcoins. Yeah, then on these days it was mostly Bitcoin, no other currencies. But end of the day, if you have bitcoins, you need to use them in your real life. And then we thought that this part is totally missing, how to use crypto in your daily life, because bitcoins were meant for changing the monetary world. So, and this is how it started.
Okay, so thank you. And by the way, I remember my story. I started my first business when I was 21 years old. At that moment, I was a very young person. I specifically remember the day on Sunday, I was reading the book about the Nike story, and that Nike story inspired me because it was enough for me just to read one sentence, just do it. And then I thought, I'm actually need to start doing things because, I'm reading the books, deepening my knowledge in that sense. And I just realized that, all you need just to start. So I remember that day. And next day, I actually collected all the co-founders of that initial business, and we started the business that day. So do you remember that first moment when actually you said that it's enough to think, let's do it?
Lucky you, but yeah, according my current life and how many things are on the table, so I haven't even thought how it started exactly.
I know from my experience that all businesses need to get some ignition to start. So can you tell me how did you start it? So is that was like bootstrapping, or you raise capital from the beginning, or you get another ways how to ignite your business with some initial first funding?
Yes, this is very like even it's there's facts and we have accounting and everything. So yes, we invested. I think it was 15,000 euro per phase with my friend, and this is how it started. And for the first MVP, if like we will try to calculate how many money we spent, then it was almost zero. But if we will calculate man hours, then definitely it's hundreds and hundreds. And if someone wants to do something and you have, like, how to say, rush, and you know exactly what you are going to do and you want to do it, then basically you can do miracles even without money if you have your own computer, a little bit knowledge and wish to do it. And then things are moving very fast. If you are comparing it with, like, you are first mapping the task, then you are delegating the tasks between developers or business developers, then the same thing can take, I don't know, 5 or 10 times more comparing if you are doing it by our own in very early stage.
I really like your story just because I'm a strong believer that startups can do a lot of things without even funding. You just need to have motivation to do stuff, and it's all about it. You don't need to get millions to start with. It's enough for you to believe in an idea and start doing things.
Yes, and it's the same thing is with other startups. These startups are like much more, how to say, progressive. If there are like two, three, maximum four guys, they know what they are going to do. They will sometimes spend some nights or weekends, and they can build some miracles within weeks. And if you will start your startup with a huge fundraising, and you will start with the hiring, with the procedures. This will kill the efficiency. And if you have that kind of mentality that you are startup, you can burn, we are so fancy, in real life it's not working.
Yes, yes. I remember the story about Google in comparison with other startups who are actually just starting. So there is a saying that startup can do the things in 2 weeks what Google can do in 2 years, just because we are becoming too bureaucratic company, so to make decisions, it takes time. So for a startup, it's easy. You just wake up in the morning, you just call your co-founder and you can build instantly.
Yes, and if you will take what this MVP means, then this is minimum valuable product. So you are not putting effort for some things that are not so crucial, and you'll have to get it up and running. And this is the core.
So now let's talk about another thing which is very important. It's impossible to do the business without struggle. As I understand in your life also, especially at the beginning in your business journey, you potentially also had some challenges and this kind of experience. So have you ever been broke or close to the giving up?
Not once, but even not twice, many times. So if you are building financial product and it's like, how to say, not traditional finance product, you don't have a clear legal space, you don't have banks who are like playing key part, and they don't support you in many cases. Even if they want support, also they have their own bureaucracy. And at the same time, if the laws are changing even in Estonia. If the first virtual asset laws came up, then they change it the next year, then they change it after 1.5 year again, and now they are changing again, and now Mika appears into the EU. So it's a huge challenge. And what I see that in one hand, many companies are closing their doors, but in other hand, there's a lot of newcomers, and this is how it's going. That the market is also changing. If we will take the client's expectations 5 years ago, compare it with the expectations 3 years ago, and now, then this is totally different industry, even we can say. And from challenges also, it's also changing. So if we had like huge, like, I don't want to say issues, but the challenges with finding banking partners. Now we are connected with the European biggest banking infrastructures, and we are principal member. So we have a right to issue named virtual IBANs within seconds, same rights like Revolut or Wise. So this is not the issue, but if you are taking some other like integrations or from legal perspective, then there's always challenges. And I think this is, in one hand, it's good when you have it, but in other hand, it will put a lot of pressure for the team members. And also from cost perspective, you never know what will happen in 1 year or 2 years.
Yeah, maybe another Mika part 2 will come again. And I remember this moment. I remember when it was like EMI licensing, phase. So everybody who was doing business in fintech, we needed to get those licenses. And later on, the crypto was regulated, and Mika came to place. And actually, there are loads of startups currently struggling with Mika, struggling to get the license. And it looks like that central banks who are actually very careful who to be onboarded in the ecosystem. There are so many dynamic things which are moving in this market, and I believe you as a business owner in this field in crypto and fintech, you actually have really massive challenge to deal with the regulation. How long did it take before your business started to generate revenue? Can you remember?
Actually, it was very fast. During the first year, I think we spent 2-3 months for the infrastructure, and then it was up and running. We had very small team. We had, I think, in total 1 developer, 2 founders, and 1 guy was supporting with half time. So very small and effective team, and we started to earn sales revenue within months. If you have like costs are low, and it turned to be like profitable within 1.5 year already. So it was like, compared with some other models, it was very effective. But also some years later, it turned to nightmare because market changed. We had a lot of clients related with mining on early years, but the mining business is basically dead. Some Bitcoin miners left, but Ethereum and all other like mining facilities are mostly shut down. Then we basically started from zero, and also regulation changed. Our banking partners, some of them closed their doors at all. Like on these days, we planned cooperation with Rails Bank. I don't know what was their exact name, but they work with a model that they sub-license their like partners, and they worked under a Lithuanian EMI license. We put a lot of effort for be like sub-agent in these days. As I told you, never know what will happen. And also one topic, what may be very interesting, like in the beginning, you'll have to use a lot of other providers and use the Rails to get it up and running. But when the business will start to grow, definitely you need to put more effort or not be so, how to say, connected with these partners, or you'll have to have always plan B and plan C. Otherwise,
Okay.
it won't work. And this is same with the banks, exchanges, even like tier 1 exchanges. They can have like maintenance issues, problems, or days, and then you'll have to recalibrate your system from one provider to another.
Okay, so basically, as I understand the outcome, or let's say the experience, what you want to share, that basically it's better to have your own infrastructure instead of using, multiple providers who actually putting your business on the risk, just in case if we will struggle, you will be struggle also, just because,
This is a egg and chicken question. So on one hand, if you are going to build everything by our own, it is time and money.
yeah.
And if you are using some very good solutions, you can even put like, how to say, Lego pieces together within days or weeks and start with your business. But if I'm comparing situation within when we started in 2016-17 with a concept, and now you have very good solutions like Fireblocks and etc. On these days, there wasn't any Fireblocks. So we basically built Fireblocks type of solutions by our own. Also regarding Bitcoin nodes and all kind of server services. On these days, we had our own servers and everything was in-house. But imagine for a small company, this is like you'll have to have your own, have to own your own server expert, and yeah, it's a lot of work. But now we are also like in some cases optimizing it. In some cases we are using some providers. So this is how it is. You have a lot of options on the market, even if you want to build something. Is it some blockchain related activity or some other activity? So even you have a lot of tools how to frame your business plan, or you can use AI, optimize it, also divide the tasks and everything. But when we started, then we mostly used Excel.
Okay. And it's interesting for me would be to hear, your story. What happened after the next phase came? As you said at the beginning, it was like good years to start with. You started to generate revenue, and later on you said that there are a bunch of changes which came to place, and then you needed to compete with those challenges. So, what was like the turning point for you in your trajectory of your business? How you actually overcome those challenges and what kind of solutions you found, basically, to be in the business again and sustain and maintain the business.
Yeah, it's very easy. We can like divide it from client's perspective or product perspective. When we raised, like it was, I think, 4 years ago, some millions, then we also discussed it with investors, and it was like startup boom, still ongoing on these years. And they told now we want to see rapid growth. And then we started to burn, and even more we put for marketing or like try to get more clients. Then we faced that we cannot get them, and the focus was European retail market and private individuals. And on the same time, the bear market came in crypto. And we tried to communicate to our investors that now we can even pause. So let's not spend, let's hold, let's see what will happen. Let's keep it in cash flow neutral even. Maybe even continue with a smaller team, but this was like red flag for investors. And here is what I would like to say, that other early stage startups also should listen to like their heart, or what like your own brain is telling to you, or heart. So and if you are like burning and pushing, and you see it's not working, it is like very hard for the team. Basically only one way how it will end: you will burn the money. And if you are trying and doing the things like 10 times on the same way, you are like psycho. You are doing, but it's not changing. And we faced this, but we made our own conclusions. We changed the model, and now during the last 2 years, we are mostly focusing for B2B, because if you are targeting retail market, you'll have to compete with huge companies, billion-dollar companies, and in many cases, this what they are offering, it's not even profitable, but they are just trying to win the market share. But for B2B, it is more like based on direct sales, direct business relations, how you are communicating with your clients, how good is the service. There's always some part that you'll have to customize it, even if it is related with integrations. And this is what we're doing at the moment.
I really love to hear that story when you said that you faced many challenges, and basically you have a strong team in place which is capable to adapt to the changes. I think this is so important because I'm dealing with a lot of startups on a daily basis, and I see that we make the same mistakes. Sometimes we believe that the idea is unique, and we just actually placing a lot of effort and manpower into that, and suddenly we see that it's not working, but we continue to do so. So I really love this part of your story that you said you just need sometimes to stop, to rethink the things, and see where the next direction might be of the business.
In Estonia, we have saying, I am trying to translate it to English. So better awful end than endless awfulness, or I don't know how it is in English. But if you are just, even if you have some funds left and you are doing something and burning, end of the day, yeah, you'll have to raise your hands, tell to investors it's not going to work. We have like, I don't know, 40% funds left, so we will put it on hold. And if they don't like it, then nothing to do. but don't go with the flow. This is the most important. And if you are seeing that you're burning, don't never burn it to zero. Even keep some funds and put it on hold. Even if it is needed, fire the whole team. Leave only some key members who can actually bring something on the table. If needed, motivate them. Try to find how to turn it back to cash flow positive. If you have some existing clients, you can never cut it down. So if it is only way to survive, then keep the system like operational. Your website is live, so your clients don't know that do you have like 5 team members or 25. So like service is up and running, you will win time, and you don't know never if we will take even compare it like 2 years. I didn't even realize that there will be that kind of AI coming. So, and if we're comparing how the technology is changing, and like in every 3-4 years there's something new coming, then from business perspective, then it's never sense to burn it and shut it down. So if you see it's not working, then you'll have to raise your hands and change something.
Yeah, I love this approach. I think the same, in my own business, in this consultancy agency, what I'm running with my business partner, we also had many challenges, especially if you remember that bull run in crypto space, it was like 4 or 3 years ago. It was like golden times for everybody. But suddenly, the bear market came to place and institution investors came to crypto space and everything is changing. So we also needed to adapt our business and we needed to change all the strategy to be able to survive. And I'm really happy that, basically compared with other agencies who was in the business that at that moment, we didn't survive, but our agency survived. So, so it's good to know that this approach, by being adaptive, understanding this dynamic market, looking for new opportunities, where the business should go and implement the new practices, I think it's important. And thanks for sharing this. Evald, as a founder of a company, did you have any mentors, let's say, or people who actually motivated you to start this business, or it was purely your initiative?
Maybe there wasn't mentors who motivated me to start with this, but during the first years I was very lucky. We first tried to participate in many accelerator programs. I applied for different ones from London to Berlin, but maybe we didn't advertise our ideas in this case that it will be attractive, but finally we were elected to the startup yard. Startup yard is one of the oldest incubators and one of the biggest in Europe, actually. They are based in Prague. They are very famous. The program started from autumn to spring, and then I moved to Prague for 6 months, basically. I rented an apartment. I lived in Prague, and I met many mentors, also international guys. I learned a lot, and this was very motivating. I learned how to build something, how to deliver it, and I think on the same time, when I stayed in Prague, also we met with you because then we started to struggle with banks. And then basically I started to map the whole European ecosystem and basically tried to find contact with all of providers on these days. And after that, also if the business started to grow, I met the investors or good mentors also. And it will bring more synergy to the table, of course.
So, Evald, your company seems to be doing well at the moment. What do you think has been your biggest advantage or your secret sauce?
I think it's flexibility. We have a lot of different clients from different industries, from private aviations to real estate, all kind of financial services, wallet integrations, etc. And sometimes it's no sense to run very huge team, and it might be good, but in many cases, if you are running smaller and effective company, end of the day, it might be more, how to say, profitable. The market is also changing. Then with a smaller company, it's much easier to drive through these changes. This is the same as you told. You compared what Google then can do with 2 years and one startup with 2 weeks, then this is same. If huge financial institutions want to change something, then it will take a lot of time to the regulations, but for a smaller financial company, it's much easier to change their procedures or some approach or start with some new service. And this is one advantage if you are not very big. But definitely we are also growing. And in other hand, like you'll have to have some certain level of dev power and etc. When some new integration will pop in, you'll have to have enough manpower for getting up and running within days or weeks. So if it will start to take months, then this is definitely too long and you are not attractive anymore. Estonia is one advantage. So in startup world or in crypto world, when you are in Estonia, this is definitely advantage. But if you are touching some traditional business, then for them this is Eastern Europe and it can be also be disadvantage. So you never know. And if you are approaching to some German company and you are telling that you are from Estonia, then it can be good, but it can be also bad. So in many cases, we are not playing that we are from Estonia at all. We are saying that we are a European regulated company, and that's all.
Evald, I know that when you are running a business, sometimes it can be stressful. As a person, you are doing many stuff. You need to manage, handle the team. You need to handle the finances. You need to make sure that the business is getting revenue. So I understand as a person, sometimes, you may feel some pressure, let's say, or stress. So do you have any kind of, let's say, hobbies or any kind of activities which helps you to refresh, reset yourself, and get the power again, get the energy back to start another day?
Yes, in these cases, I have many hobbies, and the only hobbies what are really helping is when I can switch my or mute my phone. So it can be tennis or swimming, so you cannot swim with your phone. So, and I made that kind of mistake. I bought a watch and I connected it with a phone, and it will start to ring in the pool. And then I realized that I cannot continue with this, and then I turn it off. And also, if you have like some kind of sports watch or a modern watch with all notifications and it's blinking, and you have Telegram, you have WhatsApp, you have Slack and all other channels, then this is nightmare. And sometimes I feel if you have too much technology around you, then this is also too much. But if we will take some steps back regarding startup, what I maybe want to tell to some younger guys who will start with their startup, then definitely if you want to build some solution and you will start, and let's say you want to build some platform, you need to know something about laws. In other hand, you need to talk with the clients and work with the sales. Also, you need some tech stack, and you have only, let's say, 3 founders and all are developers from IT perspective, then definitely it's not good idea how to start. You'll have to map what will be the main activities. And I see many good startups or the best ones, they started and where it was balanced. So you had one guy with a sales background, one guy with a IT background, one guy with a law background or banking background or something like that. And it's much easier. And later also, this in the next years, every person will start to handle their like divisions. Also, we can see like some startups started with 3 developers and now they are billion-dollar companies. So, but it will bring a lot of stress because if you will start with the 3 developers, then you'll have to start like hire and you can spend a lot of time for finding the right people. And if you have like small company and you have like 3 founders and you need to hire 3 additional first team members, and if you will hire 3 and all these 3 are not good choice, then you are in deep shit. So in this case, you can always, of course, outsource, but also if you are like even buying man hours from some legal, or you need to give them the right input, and you have to know by yourself what you want, and so communicate it in the right way. But this is just one thing what I wanted to mention, and I think this is the like topic that before you will start, then map the plan, map the activities, and build the top on this.
Also interesting to hear, what keeps you motivated in the moments when things are not going well.
Yeah, of course, there is some like motivations that one day maybe your company also will be $1 billion company. Elon Musk is communicating that trillion is new billion, but this is one part. But every startup is like your own child, and if you are already putting such a big like energy to this startup, this is also like question of survival, and you don't want to fail. This is one part. And another part is if you are strongly believing that this is future what you are building and this is needed, this keeps you alive, because if you are in certain level, you have like enough money for food and for living, and end of the day you have like you are going to food store buying same cheese and you have same trousers, so it doesn't matter if the salary is a little bit bigger or less. But I think the money is not only thing what is motivating here. Maybe when it is like very early stage startup, all startups like they have their like dreams and they want to be unicorns. But if it is like already, I can name Swapin is scale up or like not startup anymore, then you have your clients, you have good relations, and this is also very motivating. And if you are working with high level guys, I don't mean they are like all billionaires, but if you are talking with them and also learning how they are doing their things, this is also very motivating that you have a chance to work with like awesome people.
All right. So I really also would like to ask you if you could share one piece of advice, for the early stage founders, what would it be?
Yeah, it's very simple. In Estonia, we have also saying that measure 9 times and cut 1 time. So before you will start to act, map the things. So nowadays you have so many tools, AI, map the plan. Don't just run and do only needed things, and this is the most important. And another thing what I wanted to definitely mention is don't take too big plans. If the plan is too big, it will take too much time and it's very hard to motivate yourself and other team members. Start to eat the elephant with the small bites and enjoy the small things, like first you'll have to get the solution up and running. Very important is try to find first paying client. Every investor will ask it. And if you have one, then you have like 80% or more like chance to get the next one. But to get the first one is the most hardest one.
Yeah, and I agree with you that it's easiest with small steps because you can do it faster and you can check the results what you got from the small step. Let's say. I agree with you that majority of the founders we dream about billions, not even starting any before. So I think it's important, just to start, just to do initial first step and do it step by step until you will grow. And I really liked your sentence when you said about the investors that we're going to ask you the question, do you have a first initial customer? And if a business have customer, it means that your product or services, let's say, have a market fit, which means that you have potential to grow your business. Otherwise, if there is no customers, there is no paying customers, let's say, so for the investors and for others, it might be look like red flag that your project don't have market fit. If you had a start from zero today, without no money, no connections, how would you approach building again?
I cannot give you a like exact example because the world is changing, the industry is changing, and on these days I don't regret that we made one or another thing. And there's the industries are also very like different, but definitely what I see, maybe we didn't put so much effort for planning. We started to do things, and if you have a lot of energy, then it's no issue to do 10 things every day. And this is where you are just burning yourself. And as I mentioned before, start with the mapping and measure 9 times and cut once. So not not vice versa. You never know. And when the industry is no, there's no standard. Even you don't have industry words, and it might happen. So, but this is how it is.
Gotcha. It's really good advice from your side. So, Evald, thanks for being here in this episode. I really appreciate that, honestly. I mean, it means a lot because you are actually also creating this with me. This is the first initial, episode with a real, founder and CEO of a company who is sharing the experience. And it's so important for us. So, thanks a lot for being here.
Thank you again and wish you luck.
Wish you good luck. Take care and see you soon.